Not singing a verse. Maybe a little bit of a chorus or something. Speak a few words and get out of the way. If I can make it through. I saw two little feet walking in my footprint. I heard a voice.
Bless him, Lord. We got so much to be thankful
Asking
for.
things I didn't know.
He's like a little miracle.
Bless him, Lord.
Felt some tiny fingers
Yeah.
reaching out for direction. If he's gonna follow me, I need to know which way to go.
That's right. He's following you.
If he's following me, Lord, I need to follow you.
That's right.
If I'm a living example,
Thank you, Lord.
I need a whole lot of your life.
That's right.
Lord.
Come on.
These steps that I
Yeah,
take
Lord.
will influence him forever. I can't afford to lose. God help me to make it right. You know, I've never, even all by myself, I can't really sing that song.
Just a little too true.
Hard to practice a song that you can't sing. I read something here not too long ago that really hit home, and it's something I've heard said a long time, and I hear it said often. I hear some people say they don't need to take their children to church. And,
Yeah.
I seen something the other day. I grew up with a boy there, Chris Hackett, if you remember
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
We
yeah.
grew up and we were together all the time. And, neither of our parents, they really never took us to church. But I'm not saying they wasn't good people. They just, we didn't go out to church. On Sundays we had other things we were doing. And,
That's right.
I seen his mother said the other day, and she's living this through her little grandchild. Since me and Chris has gotten grown, his parents had joined the church there, and they were out at a little church. And they came home, and a few days later, one of her little granddaughters there, she was quoting something that their pastor was saying, and she was posting there on Facebook. She said, I've heard all my life that you should take your kids to church and they'll pick up on certain things, and how true it really is. Because her little granddaughter there was quoting things from a preacher man. Let me tell you, if you're not a child of God, let me tell you, He can give you something, something that'll humble you down.
Reach out there.
Whether you're a child of God or not, if you've got a child in this world, and if you don't feel like you do anything for that child, I'll go ahead and tell you there's something wrong with you. Let me tell you, if you've got a child in this world, and everything that little baby doesn't cut you down in your heart, I'll tell you need to pray, because there's something wrong with you. I know that may sound harsh, but let me tell you, brother, just like when I'm singing that song, I think so often that, what am I going to do when I get a little bit older? When my kids start to really pay attention to me.
Got questions for me.
Let me tell you, I think to myself, I've got a little bit of a lifetime there with these little kids, and they're going to grow up and they're going to be watching the things I do.
That's right.
I want them to grow up and follow the things of the Lord. And you know, I think to myself quite often, brother, listen to me, I think to myself quite often, you know, what am I going to do when they get older? Maybe they'll join the church, you know, maybe that'll be it right there. But then I see these little grandbabies of yours and the great grandbabies of yours, how when we're down here holding prayer, we've got little babies down on their face. You know, I think to myself, it looks like I might have to go, if the Lord lets me live long enough, to that little grandpa stage there. You know, Brother Chris, right. I'm watching the way that your little grandkids are, and then I get to see people like Brother Otto and Sister B here. You know, it don't just stop at the grandkids. There's great grandkids. So I guess I'm just going to have to serve the Lord as hard as I can for the rest of my life, because it seems like that cycle's never going to stop. Listen to me now. Let me tell you, brother, there's one thing that I can teach my children. Listen, it's the most important thing in this world. There is a way. How many of us have lost somebody that we love so much? Let me tell you, I know I have. Let me tell you, my Lord, He's so good to us because, you know, there is a way to see each other again.
That's right.
This little world we're just passing through. I want my kids to know that we're just passing through in this world and that there's something on the other side. And you know, if I go before they do, I'm going to be standing on that other side. And they got a chance to meet me there, brother. You
Thank God for that.
My Lord, He said that He is the way. How simple it really is. This man Jesus, He is the way. Listen, let me tell you, there's nothing, no better way to start finding that man than down in your lowest position, right there on your knees. I know that's how I found Him there. You know, I see so many people go through this world. And I talk to so many there, brother, and I say, you know, when I get a little bit older, I'll search out for Him. You know, I'll see what this whole thing's about. You know, and I used to feel the same way. If it's all true, when I get a little bit older, you know, I'll search it out. But you know, brother, and I've already seen in this short little life of mine that there's no guarantee I'm going to make it that far. You know, I've got friends. You know, that's already gone, brother. You know, and they didn't get to see something like this here, or not to my knowledge, brother. I really don't know. But let me tell you, brother, how I would give anything to have stopped them there before they took their last breath and told them about this man named Jesus. You know, I've wasted so much time on these earthly pleasures here. I really have, and you know how weak of a man I am. When you hear people say, you don't have to go to church to be a good person. Well, let me tell you, that's true, brother. You don't have to go to church to be a good person. They say you don't have to go to church to be saved, brother. Well, you know that's true there, but let me tell you, you show me that person that says you don't have to go to church to be saved, and I'll tell you one or two things. You know, if they're going to make it through their week, they're a lot stronger than I am.
That's right.
Because, you know, when we were working on this little church here, as the weeks would go by and we would miss church, I would get a little weaker. I would get a little bit weaker in this world. And, you know, the first time that we came to this little place, we didn't even have these pews. We had little fold-out chairs. You know, and that was some of the best church I've had in my life. It don't take much. You don't need a building. You don't need pews. Let me tell you, we're one or more may gather. My Lord said He'll be there.
That's right. Very good.
You know, mine's just clouded right now. It's hard to focus on one thing, and there's so much good in it.
You've done very well. I like it. Good words.
And it don't just stop with children. There's brothers and sisters. Now when we have these little children, they do touch us in such a way, but there's family out there. I've got nieces. Get ready to finally have a nephew.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming out to this church and is going to hear me sing a song or maybe stand up here and preach a word or two.
And pray.
Or try to anyway. And you know, when I'm down on my face and we're praying here, brother, how comforting it is. I'll just look up for just a second. We've even got pictures of it of the girls. Sometimes they'll be lined up along here, face right on the ground. My little boy, let me tell you, he knows when it's time to pray, he knows that people are going to cry.
Yes, he does.
He don't know why, but he knows that people are going to cry, because if you watch him when we get down on our knees, he'll go find the Kleenexes and he'll bring you one. He don't even know if you're going to cry, but he's seen it enough already, as little as he is, to know somebody's going to cry when they get on their knees there.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Don't tell me that these children don't pick up on these things. I'll tell this and I'll get out of the way. I'm sure some of you heard it. Not too long ago there, we went down to that little hospital there in Winston. Listen to me, you know that my wife, she was a little sick there. We thought she had the flu or whatever. It turned out she had an infection there that was getting a little bit worse and worse as days went on. And you know, it seemed like that little flu that we thought she had, it just wasn't going away. So we went down to that little hospital there. And you know, during that time, a lot of people, they were getting the flu, so it only seemed natural to me that, you know, that's probably what she's got, Brother Otto, you know, and we went there, and they wouldn't let me and my little kids go back with her there, because so many people there, they were all wearing masks, they all had the flu, and they were really sick, you know, and I sat out in that little waiting room there, you know, holding my kids, and I seen a little family come in with a little police officer there, and they went into a conference room right across the waiting room, that packed little waiting room that we was in. Everybody just as loud as they can be sitting there talking in that waiting room. You know, listen, they took that little family back into a room, probably from here to that door away from me, you know, and they closed that door, and I gave it, I'd say we give it about 20 seconds later, I hear some people screaming horrible little shrieks that I don't want to hear again to this day. And you know, my little girl, she was sitting next to me, and my little boy was sleeping in my arms. It was so loud that it woke my little boy up. It was so loud that it kind of frightened my little girl for a second. She asked me, Daddy, what's going on? And you know, I tried to put it as simple as I could. You know, I said, I think that somebody left this world here, and those people are sad that they're not going to see them for a little while. You know, and she just looked at me, and that little frightened look she had just went away. She just said, oh, and she just sat there for a little bit. Those people came out of that room. There was about 4 or 5 women, maybe 6, and a man there. They came out of that room, brother. Listen to me, you know, they came out of the room and they were so tore up that the women, they were throwing up. They couldn't control themselves. That officer asked me, could you go get me a nurse? Because I can't handle all these people on my own. I can't keep them under control. Yeah. And let me tell you, he couldn't keep them under control. They were that tore up. So I went and got him a nurse, and a couple of nurses came and they were helping him out. You know, and there was a man standing in front of me and my little girl there. And my little girl started talking to him and telling him, you know, I go to church. You know, and that man asked her, he said, oh, do you really go to church? She said, yeah. He said, where do you go to church? And she says, well, I go to Tucky, which she calls Kentucky. She's talking about Pilgrim's Prayer there at the time. You know, and I had to explain to that man what she was talking about there. But no doubt, it kind of made the man smile a little bit You know, and then she just real loudly said, out there in front of all those people, do you know that Jesus, he lives in the sky? You know, and all those people in that room, let me tell you, it felt like something came over that room. Everybody had got real silent when those people started screaming. They were all sad. Let me tell you, something happened in that room when a little babe said the name Jesus. Let me tell you now, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to get out the way. Those women that were in that room, all those people that was so sad, they go by my little girl, and they would just smile a little bit. I just heard them screaming, the most god-awful screams I'd ever heard in my life. But they went by that little girl talking about Jesus, and it made them smile. Let me tell you, if there's one thing I can tell my kids about in this world, you know, have you ever played a little trick on a kid? Maybe showed them a little magic trick or something. It's all make-believe when Daddy makes a quarter disappear. But let me tell you, as they grow up in this world, I'm going to tell them about somebody who could really probably make that happen. I'm going to tell them about a man who can give sight to those who are blind. Those with issues in their bodies. How he can heal you with just looking at you, just speaking the word. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell them about a man with the virtue in his body. If you can reach out, if you can just live in this world and reach out to touch the hem of his garment, you can feel that virtue come in your body. I know I did. I wasn't reaching out, but I was down on my knees when I felt like I touched that garment there. And how good it really is.
That's how you find it.
You good brothers going to sing you a song, or
We're gonna let
somebody come over?
Brandon come. Yeah, I'm well, Shad.